Hey, you know who's saying that? Team Mom Shade Room.
Bruh.
They fucking me tough as fuck, I ain't gonna lie. I fuck with them.
Hello everybody and welcome to Team Mom Shade Room. Now, somebody needs to take my phone, my Wi-Fi password, whatever, because the tea has just been spilling out this week. And last week, honey, it's just too much. So last night was part 1 of Teen Mom 2's reunion, and Kale, her little segment where she has to talk about her baby daddies. Dr. Drew asked her, how were Javi and Chris, how do they get along? Blah, blah, blah. And then something about a track meet came up, right?
Chris and Javi both showed up at a track meet, right? Do they interact?
They hate each other.
Why?
What? Really?
Chris and Javi almost fought. They were like this close from each other's faces.
About what?
Probably me. So we're all in therapy now.
Oh.
Not together, but like
I was
individually.
like, whoa, this is improvement right now.
So what is your current status with Chris?
There's no status at all.
Is it a bad fight?
Maybe.
Oh.
How is co-parenting with Chris?
There's no co-parenting right now.
I mean, he lost custody?
I didn't say that.
So I reposted that and I put it on my Instagram and I said, Chris Lopez, you didn't tell me, y'all almost fought. I thought we were friends. I never air you out when my Delaware Connect throw shade your way. I'm offended. Laughed my ass off. I really wasn't offended. I was just kind of joking. He said, if y'all talking about something that happened about 3 years ago, I have no clue what you're talking about. It was not about no female on my part. But again, I have no clue what y'all are talking about. And Javi even commented, which is weird because I've been dragging him on my page for months. He comments on this out of all things to comment on and says, this was in 2016. Not sure why it's still brought up. I don't hate anyone. Lincoln talks highly of Chris all the time. And that's all that matters. Is damn near 2020. So here's the thing. Kale makes it seem like they're fighting over her, right? But she always, every time she get on these reunions or she talks to somebody, make it seem like Javi wants her. And Javi is still butthurt about her leaving and stuff like that. And these two finally spoke up and was like, that's not the case. Why is she trying to switch a narrative? So I reposted it again. I said the baby daddies have spoken. And then Kale commented. So now we have the whole damn gang. So then Kale commented and says, it was brought up because they pressed for it. I said what happened between them and that was it. I didn't bring it up out of fucking nowhere. So in all fairness, she didn't really bring it up out of nowhere. But honestly, I would have just said they don't talk or they don't speak. I wouldn't have said anything more, especially if this shit happened 3 years ago. So everybody has said their piece. And guess who jumps in my inbox? Yes, the tipster. So my DMs are on fire right now talking about what happened, okay? So it's two people who have the same kind of story. Nobody has anything on video or anything like that. So that would have been nice if somebody could have sent a video in. However, I took the story. I sent it to Chris. I said, is this true? I guess Kale took his phone because he's not responding right now. So I'm just going to run the story anyway. So here's what allegedly happened at the track meet. Okay, so story time. This person writes, this is crazy. Kale is still on television trying to portray as if these two men are fighting over her. At the track meet, Javi's whole family was there being shady as fuck, asking if that was Kale's new man, laughing and shit. Meanwhile, Javi was trying to leak stories on Chris for months. Do you guys remember somebody sent in a submission about Chris and Javi and said that Javi was trying to leak all these stories about Chris, but nobody would buy them because at the time Chris was not a public figure. He was not getting on Instagram going live all the time and stuff like that. I don't know if you guys remember that or not, but I posted that a while back. So they say, meanwhile, Javi was trying to leak stories on Chris for months. Javi was saying racist and slick comments about Chris not having a job and living with his grandma. Also, I don't know if he was unemployed or not, but Chris lives with his grandma. Okay, so they keep going. Chris is chill as fuck, but he was like, "What's up?" because Javi was just running his mouth. Javi was trying to act tough, telling Chris he didn't need to be there. It was not his kid's track meet. Chris is the type of person, once you get him mad, really, that's all she wrote. So Chris was not backing down, and Javi was in his face too. However, Javi definitely didn't want to fight. You could see it, and you could see Chris was just basically like, "What's up? Like I can go anywhere I want. What's up?" So then this person says something kind of racial. So I'm gonna not read that part, but they basically said that something jumped out of Chris, and it's racial. So I'm asking like what kind of comments Javi was saying, and the person was like, Javi was saying comments like, "Oh, they finally got out of the bed," or "They finally took a break from being laid up all day to actually come and do something with her son. But why did she have to bring him after what they did last night?" And like just being very petty about the fact that Kel was sleeping with the dude. So that's understandable, and that kind of does sound like Javi. So me and this person was going back and forth, and I don't want to paraphrase. I absolutely hate paraphrasing. However, I'm going to show the messages, but I really have to paraphrase this shit right here. So basically when they got there, it's pretty much Javi's entire family, and then it's just Kel and Chris. So they're whispering and snide remarks, and that's him and stuff like that, okay? So picture it. They're in one side. Really? That's her new boyfriend? Like, because nobody knew that this was really Kel's type or whatever. So Chris is at first trying to mind his business and just probably be supportive of his girlfriend at the time who he's there for. So Javi is steady throwing slick shots. The family is steadily throwing slick shots. Nobody says anything. So according to this person, Chris starts to be like, "That bitch ass N-word," right? So you can picture it, right? Y'all can picture. So he's like, "Man, that bitch ass, no, that bitch ass, no, like, and Kel's trying to be like, "Shh, don't, just ignore it," like trying to pretty much diffuse. I hate that I have to paraphrase this shit, but me and this person was going back and forth. Like, this is somebody new, so this is all alleged. But the way that she was telling me, I didn't mean to say she, but anyway. So they're going back and forth, and Kayla's like, "Shh, don't say nothing." So then Javi speaks up. He's like, "No, what does he have to say? What does he have to say?" Like, looks over to Kale and Chris in the general direction, like, "No, what does he have to say? What does he have to say?" So he's like, what do you gotta say in this still bitch ass N-word? So it's like, "No, what you gotta say, blah, blah, blah." And so Javi trying to explain himself, "You shouldn't be here because it is not your son, and she should have came alone," and stuff like that. So Chris proceeds to say, that he can go anywhere he want, and who the F are you, and stuff like that. So then Javi is like, "Oh yeah, real tough guy, huh? Tough guy, huh? This is who you want. He lives with his grandma," and some other derogatory things about Chris and Chris's background, and how Kale is disgusting for settling. He was literally running his mouth, according to the source, saying all it is to, like, he was turned to Kale, but he was talking about Chris. So he was like, "Oh yeah, this is tough guy. This is what you like, huh? He lives with his grandma." So, y'all. So according to the source, Chris was like, "No, I live with your wife." So this was the bit of tea that I was talking about on Instagram, and I was like, y'all don't know how to tell it, because if I tell this one part, then the rest of the story ain't gonna seem right, okay? But basically, they're just playing the dozens, and the source said that Chris was pretty upset, and that Kayla's like, "Okay, let's just get out of here." So they start walking this way, and Javi and his family are still on this side. So they're like walking backwards, and Chris is still like, "You bitch ass N-word, you bitch ass N-word, this lame ass N-word, this lame ass N-word," just going off and off and off. And Javi's like, he lived with his grandma. He like still saying little slick shit. And this person even said that Javi's family was like, "Javi, who is this guy?" And I was just like dying laughing. I was just like dying laughing. So I'm gonna try to put some of the text messages in here, but the app that I use, I can only impose so many at a time. So I'm gonna put the max amount of like screenshots that I can in here. And like I said, this could just be somebody pulling my leg. I don't know. But even if they are, like, it's hilarious. So I ran this story by Chris Lopez, which is why it was taking me a while to get the story, because I wanted to like triple check with everybody. So I sent it to him and I sent it to Javi. Javi hasn't seen it. Chris saw it and said that, he has no input, drama. He doesn't want anything to do with it. And I don't know if I should send it to Kel.